The Last Kumite is here on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray, released by the MPI Media Group. It can be found as a non-exclusive steelbook available at your online retailers. From the opening moments of Stan Bush's No Surrender playing through the credits, one can easily see that this is going to be a clear homage to martial arts films from the 80s. Judging off the bonus content, this is definitely a passion project of sorts, and while I ultimately don't feel the finished film completely sticks the landing, it definitely has some interesting moments sprinkled throughout. I would say if you love films like Bloodsport, it's something to check out. The Last Kumite on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray has an aspect ratio of 178:1. I wasn't able to ascertain whether this was from true native 4K sources or an upscale. I opted for upscale, which I'll touch on again shortly. It also supports the HDR10 and Dolby Vision. I will be discussing here the Dolby Vision encode. Very little to no information was available as to just how this transfer came to be on 4K. If I had to guess, I do believe it was an upscale from digital sources. Disc encoding was relatively healthy, and I didn't notice any image quality dips. As this is in fact a love letter to the 80s style action fight films, there appears to be some artificial grain applied to the picture. That isn't the only stylistic choice here, which I'll touch on again shortly. When it comes to details, textures do show good definition. Bloody faces, sweat, and facial hair are well realized. It's not razor sharp in clarity, but still noteworthy in this area. A touch of what I would assume is intentional softness can be seen, with lighting sources exhibiting some blooming on occasion. As for the palette, the 80s throwback certainly plays a part in the film's visual style. Even with HDR and Dolby Vision, it doesn't seem that too much was enhanced in this aspect. Primaries are fine, but they don't seem particularly emboldened or punchy. It's quite possible this could be a quote-unquote SDR and HDR container kind of situation. I don't think the palette is bland necessarily, it's just not terribly exciting. This very well could be the intention of the filmmakers, but without further info online about the transfer, it's just conjecture on my part. Just to give credence to what I was seeing on the 4K, I popped in the included Blu-ray, and I've got to say the palette looked almost nearly identical. There wasn't really any visual enhancements that I felt the 4K had over the Blu-ray, so take that for what it's worth. Black levels are fine, but the film doesn't venture into deep inky night scenes or darker interiors. In those particular sequences, there is plentiful amounts of illumination or other light sources. The Last Kumite on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray supports an English DTS 5.1 as well as a German DTS 5.1 track. As I understand it, the film is a result of a Kickstarter campaign, so the budget was probably kept modest, which is in a way reflected in the sound design here on the 4K disc. I've heard some 5.1 audio mixes that have rocked the house. Nolan's films, for example, but this film's track is a bit flat in its overall delivery. One could expect the plentiful amount of fight sequences to offer some heft or, pardon the pun, impact, but it's just a bit lacking overall. Surround activity mostly consists of the soundtrack, light ambience, and when the tournament commences, crowd noise. It's fairly constant and semi-regular throughout the film. As far as the center channel goes, it's clear, but there is some rough ADR at times, especially in the opening minutes of the film. When it comes to the LFE, as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't move the needle too much, which is admittedly disappointing. There's a solid amount of supplements included on this 4K disc, consisting of interviews, the Stan Bush music video, and the 22-minute making of. The highlight for me was the making of, as it is very clear from the various interviews with the cast and crew that they had a really great time making the film. It's always good to see Cynthia Rothrock on the screen again, and I very much enjoyed the behind-the-scenes bits. So yes, extra content-wise, I think this hits the mark. For the picture quality, I'm going to give The Last Kumite on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray a B+. The film's throwback to the 80s is a solid enough looking transfer, and the stylized elements come across pretty good on 4K. While the HDR and Dolby Vision isn't eye-catching, the source is still clean with no issues. Overall, a satisfying looking disc. For the audio mix, I had to score this one a C. If you're expecting a hard-hitting kind of sound mix, this will probably be slightly underwhelming. Once again, this very well could have been the result of keeping the sound design budget under control, but the end result isn't very robust. As for the extras, I scored them a B+. I had a good time with the bonus material, and when the cast and crew seem excited about the project, it comes across that way to us too. It's a good amount to dive into. So that is my review of The Last Kumite on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're interested in picking up a copy for yourself, I will leave a direct Amazon link in the comments section. If you use it, it really helps out the channel, but if you have the disc already, let me know your thoughts down below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.